Hello guys, it's your boy Mr. Kienyeji here, and as promised, today I want to share with you how I raise my turkey poults from the moment they hatch through day one all the way to maturity. One of the most common questions I usually receive in my comments and in my inbox is, how do you raise turkey chicks when their mortality rate is so high? The truth is, turkey poults are indeed weak and fragile, especially during their first few days of life. Because of this, they require extra care, adequate warmth, and most importantly, quality feeds rich in protein, minerals, and vitamins. The hatching period of a turkey hen usually takes 28 to 30 days. That is to complete the incubation and the hatching process. Once the poults hatch, I allow them to remain in the nest until they are dry and able to walk. And from that point onward, how you handle them determines how well they grow. Yeah. So the first step I usually take, as I shown you in the previous video, is removing the poults from the nesting box and placing them in a small wire cage, just like I had shown you in my previous video. For the first 1 week, the poults will stay in this cage together with their mother. And from the third day, I will start taking them outside during the day, and the mother is allowed to stretch outside the cage while the poults remain safely inside the cage as shown below. Yeah, this step is important because number one, the poults are not yet strong enough to roam freely. Two, the cage allows them easy control and protection from predators. And three, the poults will get enough sunlight for vitamin D. And four, which is the most important one, the mother can stretch and walk and also sunbathe. This is after sitting on the eggs for almost a month. Trust me, I learned this the hard way as a beginner, because if the hen is not allowed to stretch, she can develop joint problems, and you don't want that. This routine of taking them outside and inside goes for about 2 weeks after hatching. Yeah. So another important point is the feeding process during this early stage. And during this stage, I usually feed my turkey chicks on starter crumbs, which is high in protein. I also supplement them with finely chopped kales as a source of greens, since turkey love greens so much. Greens play a major role in boosting their immunity as they are rich in essential vitamins. It is also important to know that turkey poults require high protein levels than chickens when young. Not even when young, generally they require feeds high in protein. And that's why I use the broiler starter crumbs instead of the normal chick mash. Since turkeys are also natural grazers rather than heavy commercial feed eaters, I introduce greens as early as possible when they are day old. This greatly benefits them as they grow. Yeah. So another important thing you can note is that they have been transitioned into a bigger space away from the cages. This is after a few weeks of proper feeding and care, and the poults become stronger and more active at this stage. They are moved from the cage to a bigger room where they can move freely and follow their mother while still indoors. However, they are still not ready to roam outside freely as they are vulnerable to both cold and predators. Both the poults and the mother continue feeding on broiler starter crumbs and greens for the first 2 months before transitioning into the next feeds. In my next video, I'll talk about medications, vaccinations, and also natural remedies you can use as alternatives. So keep in touch.